the world we live in now, right? So it's an absolute necessity. And frankly, it was important before, even before COVID. I used to use a lot of different techniques to sell virtually, just because we couldn't be everywhere that we needed to be. And I think what's really engaging is that, or what's really interesting is that, when we talk about virtual, or we talk about video, or we talk about kind of these Zoom boxes we live in now, I try to get people to get away from the idea of, okay, it's video. Video is just the medium. What the real technique is engagement skills, right? And if you can teach people to be engaging and just a little bit charismatic and make them more confident, what's going to happen is the person on the other end is going to pay a lot more attention to them. So, obviously it's the world we live in now. There is no going back. We are not going back to, there'll be some hybrid, but not like it was. So the sooner people are able to master this and understand these skills and strategies to get out there to use them, the more effective they'll be.
I want to jump in on key in on one thing you said. So this isn't new. And we've been doing, virtual selling, a long time before the pandemic. And I think it's really interesting. I think people are like, oh my gosh, we have to do this. It's like, yeah, this is the predominant medium now. But, all of the selling that we used to do is, there's so many different ways. You're doing it, over email, you're doing it over phone. We were using Zoom or WebEx and, before then. I think it's really interesting. I wanted to, going back to the importance piece. So I've been at TouchCast for about 6 weeks, and again, we put on virtual events and hybrid events. And one of the biggest learnings I had, just as I've started talking to customers, is they say, there's this kind of idea that, well, if it's in person, it's like there's all this preparation you have to do, and there's all these things that you have to, just be ready for. And I was kind of probably in the same camp, but what I've learned is that, that amount of work you have to do to be ready for a virtual event is literally almost the same, if not sometimes more. And that is such a good analogy, or that's such a good parallel to selling, right? I think a lot of sellers have gone from, okay, well, I can kind of wing it when I go in person, or maybe I do a little bit because I have to book travel and all this other stuff. But when I go on virtual, I can just kind of jump on, and because we're doing this. And I think what we're going to touch on is just like that's just not the case. And there is a lot that you have to be ready for when you do this type of selling.